Hey guys, welcome back to One Stop Biology. So we are right now studying about the anatomy of flowering plants, and in the last two videos of this chapter of class 11th, we have basically discussed types of tissues based on different types of cells which are present, right? So in this video, in this very video, we are going to study the different types of tissues depending on their location in the plant body, right? So basically, we are going to study on the basis of their structure and location. Now, on the basis of that, basically, there are three types of tissue system. First being the epidermal tissue system. Second is the ground tissue system. And third is the vascular tissue system. Right? So let's start with the first tissue system, which is the epidermal tissue system. Okay, so now the epidermal tissue system basically forms the outermost covering of the entire plant body. Remember that. The epidermal itself means the outermost covering. So the epidermal tissue system forms the outermost covering of the entire plant body, and it comprises of epidermal cells, stomata, and epidermal appendages, which are trichomes and hair. So if you see a plant body, you see the outer covering of epidermal cells, you see stomata on the leaves, you see the epidermal appendages like trichomes and plant hair, right? So all these are part of the epidermal tissue system. Now let's first see what is epidermis. So epidermis is the outermost layer of the primary plant body. It is basically made up of elongated, compactly arranged, right? So it is made up of elongated, compactly arranged cells which forms a continuous layer. So it basically forms a continuous layer, right? Now, one more thing is there that epidermis is single layered. Usually it is single layered, and it is parenchymatous with a small amount of cytoplasm which lines the cell wall, and they have a large vacuole, right? So it is parenchymatous with small amount of cytoplasm living in, basically lining the cell wall, and a large vacuole. Now, the outside of the epidermis is often covered with a waxy thick layer, which is known as cuticle. This basically prevents loss of water. Now, in the case of roots, this cuticle is absent. Remember that, right? Now, let's see what exactly is stomata. So, epidermis we have understood, right? It is the outermost layer of the plant body. Now, stomata is present in the epidermis of leaves, right? And it regulates the process of transpiration and gases exchange. So, it basically regulates transpiration and exchange of gases. Now, each stoma is composed of two bean-shaped cells. So, basically, there are two bean-shaped cells, right? So each stoma is composed of two bean-shaped cells, and these cells are known as guard cells, right? And this enclose the stomatal pores through which the exchange and transpiration happens. Now remember that. Now in the case of grasses, these guard cells are not bean-shaped but dumbbell shaped. So if I show you the diagram of this as well, let me show you this with the diagram itself. Right, so this is the representation of bean shaped. So these are the bean shaped and these are the dumbbell shaped guard cells, right? Now, basically, these guard cells enclose the stomatal pore in both the cases, right? The outer wall of guard cells, which is basically away, so this wall of guard cells, basically, which is away from the inner, basically which is away from the stomatal pore, right, is thin, And the inner walls, which is towards the stomatal pore, this is thick. So remember that the inner wall is thick and the outer wall of the guard cell is thin, right? Now the guard cells possess chloroplast and it regulates the opening and closing of stomata. So basically they have chloroplasts and that regulates the opening and closing of stomata. Sometimes what happens is a few epidermal cells in the vicinity of the guard cells, they become specialized in their shape and size, and these cells are known as subsidiary cells. So basically here, these cells that you see, right? These are subsidiary cells. Again, here, these cells are subsidiary cells, right? Apart from that, the stomatal aperture, the opening, guard cells, and the surrounding subsidiary cells, they are together known as stomatal apparatus. So this complete system is known as stomatal apparatus. So if I have to, um, I'll just write what exactly these parts are. I'll label this diagram. So basically, these are the epidermal cells because stomata are again present on the epidermal layer of the plant body, right? So these are epidermal cells, right? These, as we know, are subsidiary cells. Then we have here the dots that you see are chloroplast. Then we have guard cells. And inside the pore is nothing but the stomatal pore, right? So this is the stomata. So in the epidermal tissue, we have already covered the epidermal cells, the epidermis, stomata, and now we'll see the epidermal appendages, which are trichomes and hairs, right? So let's see that as well. So basically, we'll study the root hair and trichomes. Now, the cells of epidermis bear a number of hairs, and these are nothing but root hairs. Now, root hairs are unicellular elongations. Remember, they are unicellular elongations of epidermal cells, and they help in absorption of water and minerals from the soil, right? On the if they are present on the stem, they are known as trichomes. Now, in the case of trichomes, these are multicellular. Remember that the trichomes of the shoot system are multicellular, but the root hair are unicellular. Now, these trichomes may be branched and unbranched, and they may be soft or they may be stiff as well. And sometimes they can even be secretory, they might have secretions. Now what these trichomes help in, they helps in preventing water loss due to transpiration, right? So these two again play very important role. Root hair helps in absorption of water and mineral from the soil, and trichomes which are present on the stem helps in preventing water loss due to transpiration, right? Now let's move towards the second tissue system, which is the ground tissue system. So all tissues except the epidermis and vascular bundles basically constitute the ground tissue. So basically it consists of simple tissues such as parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma, right? So parenchymatous cells are usually present in cortex, pericycle, pith and medullary rays, right? And then in the primary stems and roots. Then in leaves, the ground tissue consists of thin-walled chloroplast which have cells, and these are known as mesophyll. They are known as mesophyll. Remember that, right? So these basically are the ground tissue system. Now again, the third system is very important, which is the vascular tissue system, because it has complex tissues like xylem and phloem. So the vascular system consists of complex tissues, phloem and xylem. Now xylem and phloem together constitute the vascular bundle. They together constitute what? the vascular bundle. Now, what happens in dicot stem, right? So we'll take it separately in different parts of the plant. In dicotyledonous stem, right? What happens? Cambium is present between phloem and xylem. Remember, okay? Now, such vascular bundle, because of the presence of cambium, possess the ability to form secondary xylem and phloem tissues. Now, guys, I hope you would have gone through the previous video where we have discussed a bit about primary and secondary xylem and primary and secondary phloem tissues, right? So, basically, in case of dicots, there is cambium present in between phloem and xylem, and such vascular bundles possess ability to form secondary xylem and phloem tissues, and hence they are known as open vascular bundles. They are known as open vascular bundles. Now, in the case of monocots, the vascular bundles do not have cambium in them. That is why they do not form tissues, secondary tissues, and they are known as closed vascular bundles. They are known as closed vascular bundles, right? Now, when xylem and phloem within a vascular bundle are arranged in an alternate manner. Now, remember that if the xylem and phloem are arranged in an alternate manner or on different radii, right? The arrangement is known as radial, right? And this happens in roots. So these are sometimes basically arranged alternate on different radii, and this is known as radial vascular bundle, right? So as you can see in this diagram, this is xylem and these are phloem, right? So if you see, the radius is different. The radius for these is basically this, and for them it's this, but they are arranged alternate, right? These are alternate. So this kind of arrangement of xylem and phloem are known as radial vascular bundle, right? Then there's another type which is known as a conjoint type of vascular bundle. Now, in conjoint type of vascular bundle, the xylem and phloem are situated on the same radius of vascular bundles. Now, these kind, as in the radial ones, are common in roots. The conjoint type of vascular bundles are common in stems and leaves. So remember that as well, right? So leaves and stems usually have conjoint type of vascular bundles, right? So these type of bundles, the conjoint vascular bundles, usually have the phloem located only on the outer side of xylem. So if you see here, these are basically conjoint vascular bundles. This is the closed one. Why is it closed? Because there is no cambium present. These are in the case of monocots. Here we have cambium present. That is why this is conjoint open vascular bundle. So we basically can see that this is phloem, this is xylem. Again here, this is phloem, this is xylem. And in the middle here we have cambium. So these are conjoint closed vascular bundle and conjoint open vascular bundle, and these type of arrangement are present in stem and leaves, while the radial arrangement is present in roots. So with this, guys, we finish the tissue system. Now, in the next video, we are going to see the anatomy of dicot and monocot plants. So now we are going to take up the dicot root, the monocot root, the dicot stem, the monocot stem in detail, right? So I hope you understood the all three different type of tissue systems. If you did, please do not forget to like the video and share it with your friends for sure, because I want to help as many students as I can. And if you have any doubts, please do not hesitate in dropping a message either on the comment section of the video, or you can also WhatsApp me the questions on the number given in the description of this video. Thanks, guys. Bye bye.